Okay, we're looking at lesson 131 for geometry. So a couple things we got to review quickly, and I'll go kind of quick through it just because you've seen it before. Feel free to stop the video, pause the video, rewind it. You can slow it down if you want because that's definitely an option. But we're going to review solving equations. So the first thing I do when I solve is I drop a line. And so what I would do there is drop a line. Then we want to use the reverse of PEMDAS. So normally when you evaluate, you use PEMDAS. When you solve, you want to use SADMEP. So we're going to subtract first. And we're going to have these chunga chunga. So we're left with 5x equals 51. Then you divide by 5, these chunga chunga. And we're left with x equals 10.2. It should be 10.2. So the next one, drop a line. SADMEP, so subtraction and addition first. We're going to do plus 6 on both sides of the line. These chunga chunga, we're left with 9x equals 378. Divide by 9. We get x equals 42, I'm pretty sure. So then on the next one, again, drop a line. Now here's where you got to be careful. These ones, the numbers came second, but this one, the number happens to come first. So we're going to subtract 6. Since it's a positive 6, we'll subtract it. Those chunga chunga, and what's left is negative 2x's. Don't forget that sign. A ton of students have been forgetting that sign. So then here we end up with 46. Divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2. Chunga chunga, x is negative 23. Then here, drop the line, add 13 because 13 is the constant. Chunga chunga, negative 9x equals 117. Divide by negative 9. Divide by negative 9. Negative 13. Chunga chunga, x equals negative 13. Okay, so hopefully you guys are familiar with this at least a little bit, but that's what you need to do is SADMEP. So on these ones, it's a little bit worse because we have a couple pieces going on. What I would do if I were you guys is I would try to code this. All of these pieces need to be included in a shape, and you'll see what I mean. So what you might notice is we have an x here and an x here. When I was in school, I would put squares around them, or I would underline them. You need to include this sign because it tells us it's a positive 4. Then this is a number. You need to include the negative because it tells us it's a negative 7. Same here. So notice in that sentence, every single piece is circled by something. So now the 9x and the 4x make 13x. And the negative 7 and negative 13, that's all negative. It's negative 20. Now this is just like the previous page. Drop a line and do SADMEP. So we're going to add 20. Chunga chunga. 13x equals negative 120. If you go up 20, you're still in the negative at 104. Then divide by 13. Divide by 13. Negative 104 divided by 13 is negative 8. All right, pause the video if you want. See if you can code this with shapes. Here's an x term. Here's also an x term. Make sure you include the sign in front. Here's a constant. Here's a constant. So now we'll combine like terms. So 15x's minus 3x's, that's 12x's. Negative 4 plus 7 is a positive 3. Then we'll do like before, drop a line and subtract 3, subtract 3. Chunga chunga, 12x equals, this is negative 72 now. Divide by 12, and we get chunga chunga, x equals negative 6. All right, this is a real bad one. Real bad. The problem here that you might notice is we have a bunch of pieces and we also have two sets of parentheses. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this 3 times everything inside the parentheses. That means we're going to distribute. That might be something you recognize, the word distribute. So 3 times 2 is 6x. 3 times 4 is 12, so minus 12. Here's where students will lose it. This is like a minus 1, so we're going to take this and distribute it through. Negative 1 times 4 is negative 4x. Negative 1 times 1 is negative 1, but it's like a minus 1. Minus times minus is plus 1. It just basically changes the sign of everything. Just makes this positive 4 into a negative and this negative 1 into a positive. From here, we're going to code it. So let's go x term with the sign in front. Number. So 6x's minus 4x's, that's 2x's. Negative 12 plus 1 is negative 11. We're going to drop a line and solve. So plus 11, chunga chunga, 2x equals, this is still negative 32. Divide by 2, chunga chunga, x is negative 16. Now, if you guys have questions about any of this, you need to let me know. Just come ask and I'll explain it in more detail, especially adding integers. But you guys should have an assignment 1, 3, 1 to work on.